Want to get to my guest who is standing by this morning on the Jersey Central Newsmaker Hotline. He's going to talk about some ways, and this is kind of an interesting thing. I'm really intrigued at what he has to say. Going to talk about what it takes to turn intellectual property infringement into an income stream. I like this. He's got 5 ways to parlay patent infringement into profits. I like what this is all about. My guest who is joining me now, let's say hello to Tim Murphy, who is with us here on WCTC. Tim, good morning. It's Burt Barron. How are you?
Good, Bert. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. I guess the old approach to this used to be when you thought someone was stealing something that was yours, whether it was trademarked or a piece of music or, Super Bowl or Final Four or something. It used to be cease and desist and sue. Not so much the case anymore. There's some other ways that you can go and maybe make this work out for both parties. Is that true, Tim? Is that what this is all about?
Absolutely. You're trying to figure out an easy way to get through this. I mean, you don't want to spend all the legal costs if you don't have to. So why not sit down with the other party and say, hey, we can do something together, whether we work together, whether you maybe do a settlement with us, pay us a monthly stream or a lump sum, or, hey, maybe we go to business and really try to work together on this and create something new and unusual.
So it happens every year, with the NFL and with what's going on now with March Madness and everything going on with that. You still see a lot of that there where, someone wants to have a Super Bowl sale on a car or something. You can't do that. Is the NFL willing to work with people on partnerships on things like that?
Well, I can't quote what the NFL will do. But
okay.
You can definitely sit down and try. From my own experience with regards to we have trampoline parks turned into family entertainment centers, but with trampoline parks, you've got an opportunity to go out and work with other folks that are out there, and that's in any business really. Just sit down and can we hash this out? It's a business deal. That's what it comes down to. Can you create a good business opportunity between each other? And then if it is the NFL and they're able to work with them, then, the NFL picks up some money as well. But you've got to be willing to sit down and talk, and that's kind of the first thing. Otherwise, you do have to use the cease and desist.
Gotcha. All right. And are a lot of times these parties that are sort of, infringing on intellectual property, are they often open to settlements and maybe partnerships that have some long-term success, Tim? Have you seen that over the years?
Yes, I've seen it. And bottom line is, it's a matter of you're probably going to have to get in front of them and educate them. Their first reaction is going to be, hey, how do I fight this thing? And then go, well, maybe I need to spend all these legal costs. If you can educate them on how much you're probably going to end up spending to go to court and settle this deal, and then they'll probably end up losing. They can usually see the opportunity in front of them if they'll just open their eyes. If they don't, then you go the normal route.
Okay. Is this a classic case, Tim? A lot of these, rather, where they say it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. Is a lot of that what leads to some of these settlements where it's like, oh, well, I didn't know I could, or I just thought I would try and see what would happen? Do you typically see where it's, act first and then apologize for it later?
Well, you definitely see act first. I don't know if it's necessarily apologizing, but you definitely see act first, and then you have to go in and inform them, hey, by the way, you have infringed. We have certain claim rights here on the patents, and it's time to chat about this a little bit deeper. But they'll definitely act first. They'll say, well, I don't have that. That doesn't affect me. Or if I just change this one little thing, it doesn't mean it affects your patent. Oh, no, yes, it does.
Oh, is that right? Okay. So you even got to be careful about that, little things like that.
Yeah, they'll come in, and in our case, we have patents on the trampolines. It's the uprights, the walls associated with. It's called the exoskeleton. But they say, well, if I move a bar this way or that way, then I don't really infringe. No, you have, and you've just twisted it a little bit. So I just want to make sure you're fully understanding of where our patent rights stand. But that's in any case. So whether you have T-shirt sales, how they may have twisted it just a little bit, whatever that might be, you've got to be able to show them that says, hey, you have, and all you've done is just slightly tweaked it a little bit. It's still the same patent, still the same claim.
Wow. Is it kind of like, when artists will sue each other over music, like, oh, that's my song and you owe me money for this and you stole my riff or whatever. Is it something kind of along those lines?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could just tweak a little song, but it's the original intent of the original song. So you have to be able to prove to them and say, no, this intent, my prior art was well before you ever came up with your idea. Let me show you how and when. And like in our case with the trampolines, it goes back as far as 2008, 2009, and that's when commercial trampolines came out. But in the case of an artist like that, you just got to show them, hey, it happened prior, and all you did was tweak this just a little bit.
Wow, and people probably don't realize it, Tim. Tim Murphy is our guest on WCTC. Copyright protection and protection of one's work literally goes back centuries. I mean, we're talking, we go back to the 1800s, if not prior to that, where an artist's work, whether it was written word, painting or whatever, is protected. That it's yours, and no one can just come along and take it and use it for whatever they want to. So, and it's something that has been around and been in place for such a long time, simply to protect people who write or paint or anything that they do, and it provides protections for the people that own this work.
Absolutely. And so you've got to be willing to say, look, you've got to do your due diligence. You've got to do your history. Why did you ever go out and get a patent to begin with? Why did you ever get a copyright on something? You've got to do your work and show and prove that you're protected for the future in case these things happen and come up.
Yeah, exactly. And another good example of this is this woman who's been like the mascot. She's kind of been the inspiration of this Loyola Chicago basketball team. They now had to have a license. They now have licensed her image and her name, and they're putting it on T-shirts and hats, and it's selling like crazy around the entire country. But that's the process. You have to have a license to use her image and her name, and if you want to profit from it, there's got to be a little give and take, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got to be willing to give a little bit too. Even though you have the full rights to the patent, you want to make something work and you want to sit down with someone, you've got to give a little. But you're going to end up you can ultimately win if you have to, but it's better and easier if you'll sit down and chat.
Gotcha. This was great information. Tim, before we wrap up, get a word in about Rebounderz, if you will. There's one in Edison, which is a nearby town in New Brunswick where I'm sitting at. I always wanted to go try it out. Is it okay for a guy about 50 to bounce on a trampoline for a while?
Well, I'm in my 50s as well, and yes, you can get a definite workout if you go out there. But our Edison location is fantastic at 76 Carter Drive in Edison. We've got a lot of great facilities. We do have trampolines. We also have Ninja Warrior courses.
Nice.
We're really changing our whole Rebounderz to more of a family entertainment center, not just a trampoline park like there's so many others out there. In the United States, there's 625 trampoline parks. We have 10 ourselves around the country and international in Panama. But really, we're growing into so many different areas. Our next foray is into electric indoor go-karts, as well as virtual reality and so forth. But it's a lot of fun stuff for the entire family.
Yeah, very cool. One of these days, I will get over and bounce on the trampoline over at Rebounderz and give it a try in the near future. So
Please do.
I definitely will.
Make it there, make it to Lansdale outside of Philadelphia.
Okay, definitely will. Tim Murphy, great information. Thank you for your time this morning, and have a great day, all right?
All right, Bert, thank you very much.